So at EA dropping this gameplay deep dive trailer for College Football 26, we're going to discuss some details listed in the College Football 26 deep dive article from the EA website. So in today's video, we're going to talk about some of the things that stuck out to me the most from the College Football 26 vlog that I'll link the full article of in the description. If you're new to this channel, man, welcome first of all, but be sure to hit that like button, man. We're going to break down this video into 4 categories, starting with gameplay, defensive improvements, blocking improvements, and some bonuses at the end of the video, man. So be sure to stick around for that and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, man. So let's get right into it. So starting off with gameplay, so dynamic substitutions and real-time strategy. So one of the first standout improvements in College Football 26 is dynamic on-the-fly substitutions. Players would no longer need to pause or use the play call menu to switch athletes in and out. Instead, pressing up on the D-pad opens the sub menu, allowing players to rotate players based on position and health status, and inclusion of the real-time wear and tear insights, player ratings, and body part specific injuries, introducing a level of micromanagement that adds strategic depth. So that's kind of like NBA 2K. Scott O'Gallagher, for those of you who don't know, Scott O'Gallagher is somebody who used to work with 2K. Now he's working with this dev team. So I could tell there's a lot of his ideas that he's implementing into EA College Football 26. So I like that feature added to the game, man. Wear and tear systems get a massive overhaul. So EA Sports has dramatically refined its wear and tear system, making it more realistic and customizable based on the feedback from the community. Players can now adjust how quickly injuries occur, choose between different auto sub settings like keep fresh or grind it out, enable weather influence injuries reflecting real world gameplay conditions. The customization extends into a depth of sliders for healing speed, hit stick damage, and even sack related injuries. Quarterbacks now show visual cues of fatigue and also shaking off limbs and body parts walking up to the line of scrimmage that may be affected by certain hits that they might have taken throughout the game. Dynasty players were some of the most passionate fans of the wear and tear system, and we recognize it's impossible to satisfy everyone's preferences. So this year we've introduced complete customization of the wear and tear, as we talked about before. So you can pretty much adjust these things, you know, in a slider to your liking, whether it's increased damage from hit sticks or sacks, or even faster healing between quarters or during timeouts. Every aspect is now in your hands, and these are some of the impacts that you have the ability now to improve between normal tackle impact, catch tackle impact, hit stick, block impact. All these things affect wear and tear, and these are things that they're giving you the ability to adjust the sliders of. So I really like that feature. Toughness rating. So last year, your toughness rating was determined how much damage a player took to a specific body part after contact. But this year, they've taken it a step further. So now toughness also affects recovery, dictating how quickly each body part heals over time. Weather also will impact a player's wear and tear as well. Abilities, archetypes, and now the new Heisman tier. So let's talk about that. So abilities are more than just passive boosts now. College Football 26 introduced momentum-based dynamic abilities that change in real time. When a player gets hot, their abilities scale up, potentially reaching the new Heisman tier, which surpasses the previous platinum level. Now you will not start on Heisman tier. That's something that you got to get hot to get. A green flash indicates the boost, while poor performances result in a red downward arrow and reduce effectiveness. How you perform in a game can affect your abilities, but it can also increase them. So Heisman tier is something else that I can tell that Scott O'Gallagher had his hands on. So Heisman tier, for those of you who know that play 2K, Heisman tier puts me in the mindset of takeover. That's pretty much the way they define it here in this blog. Is pretty much what takeover was in NBA 2K. You had to do certain things with, you know, depending on the archetype of your player that you make, and it would eventually get to the point where your player would go off. The game also brings 10 new archetypes, each with unique ability loadouts, signature abilities like battering ram and hammer, tailored gameplay, physical archetypes like power running backs, and hard hitting defenders. Abilities now correlate with specific body parts, and as injuries build, players can lose up to 2 ability tiers, adding another layer of depth to roster management. This affects Dynasty players, man, and Dynasty, as you probably know, is something I really enjoy a lot on this game. Largest playbook expansion in EA history, man. So College Football 26 features over 2,800 new plays and 45 new formations, marking the largest playbook expansion in EA Sports history. From Air Force's Flexbone to Miami's Air Raid, the USC Spread Attack, every team plays uniquely. Enhancements include double motion plays, enhanced RPO variety, gadget depth chart for trick plays and wildcat formations, real life formations from top programs like Penn State and Ole Miss. So as you know, as you guys may know, whoever watched the Madden trailer, a lot of new positions were added. They did the same thing in this game as well. Playbooks now reflect the chaotic creativity of college football Saturday. So new motion types. We've added new motion categories to reload, bounce, escort, and boomerang to help you layer, reception, and keep defenses guessing. These match the complexity of motion-heavy offenses like Kansas, Alabama, and James Madison and offer new creativity, freedom while dialing up plays. So double motion plays for the first time ever. You can move multiple players pre-snap. That means you can mimic the chess match seen in real film from programs like Georgia Tech and Penn State, and you can now shape, shifts, and formations to stress the defense before the snap even begins. That's something that you definitely could not do in college football 25, and I'm very excited they added it to this game. So you have the ability to move multiple players in motion, and now, you know, really give the defense pre-snap something different to look at. Quarterback play, vision, height, and awareness matter. The new field vision mechanic takes quarterback gameplay to another level by factoring in the height, the offensive line size, pocket proximity. Shorter quarterbacks may struggle to see over tall linemen under center, reducing accuracy. Shotgun and pistol formations help offset this though. CPU quarterbacks now better identify blitzes and hot reads, while user control passers face steeper challenges when improvising under pressure. So the CPU going to be able to pick up when you keep using that pinch blitz or that mid-zero blitz. We're going to see how crazy that's going to be on Heisman mode. Enhanced QB progression system. Recognizing that lower rated quarterbacks were previously more successful than we would like, we've expanded the gap between elite and lower tier quarterbacks to mirror real life disparities more accurately. So higher awareness quarterbacks will quickly and efficiently cycle through multiple receiving options, reflecting the decisive reads and rapid decision making of the nation's elite signal callers. Lower rated quarterbacks will struggle more significantly. They introduced an upgraded hot read system and made significant enhancements to the quarterback progression logic, double move recognition, and overall blitz response. Higher awareness quarterbacks will have the ability to recognize pre-snap defensive reads better, and also what's available for them on offense as well. So I really like that. It's going to be interesting to see how a quarterback like Arch Manning or DJ Ladway or even a quarterback that's been playing a little while like Clemson's quarterback, I can't think of his name right now, but it'll be interesting to see how those quarterback awareness looks in the game. So now let's talk about defense. So defensive innovations, tackling AI, and gap integrity. College Football 26 introduced physics-based tackling where timing, weight, and momentum determine outcomes. New tackle types include wrap catch tackles, lunging tackles, explosive hit stick animations, and we're going to talk about all that. So improved defensive AI now uses gap integrity logic, and linemen hold their assignments instead of crashing blindly. That's going to be awesome for you people that love to scheme up defenses. The new block steering system also allows players to influence trench battles using momentum and strength ratings. Timing and aiming on all one-on-one tackle types. The timing and aiming mechanics from last year's hit stick tackles have been expanded to every one-on-one tackle scenario. So that includes strips, cuts, lunges, wraps, swat catch tackles, and wrap catch tackles. By putting control directly into your hands, your skill as a player can significantly influence broken tackle outcomes, knockdowns, strips, and forced fumbles. Quarterback hit improvements. So significant improvements have been made to preserve realistic arm positioning during sack transitions. We minimize unnatural snapping of the quarterback's arm into plays during sacks. So if anybody, if you ever notice your quarterback gets snapped, you'll see that arm do like a weird demon possessing thing, and I'm glad that they smoothed that out. That was a very awkward feature. Now this is something that I personally had to have this a part of the video, because this is something that I'm surprised that it was like the way it was in college football 25, man. So late hit throws. We also heard you loud and clear when it came to last second bailouts in the pocket. Those frustrating moments when quarterbacks could escape sacks with unrealistic throws just before being hit. Ensuring throws are more realistically aimed near receivers, increasing both catch opportunities and interception risk. Additionally, very late throw attempts with defenders closing in will more frequently result in sacks, rewarding good pass rushes and emphasizing realistic consequences for delayed made quarterback decisions. Now, I hope that also matters for the AI quarterback as well, especially on Heisman mode. So tackle contact accuracy, we've significantly reduced instances where tackles didn't fully contact the ball carrier yet trigger tackle reactions. Tackles now consistently connect realistically and preserving immersion. Momentum preservation after contact. So we've greatly reduced the unrealistic branching and abrupt direction changes post-contact. Ball carriers now maintain realistic momentum, resulting in more natural and believable outcomes after tackles. So pretty much with the physics-based tackling, tackles will physically look correct now. Custom zones. Last year we introduced custom stems, giving you the ability to adjust the depth and angle of your offensive routes exactly how you want them. But offense can't have all the fun. So this year we're introducing custom zones. In College Football 26, now you can fine-tune your defensive zones just like you did with route stems. So allowing you to strategically counter and neutralize any offense. So how does it work? Simply, the zone defender you want to adjust, you'll press X on Xbox or X on PlayStation. Then you'll tap L1 to bring up the zone depth adjustment. From there, you can move the defender's zone. You can drop it up or you can drop it back to fit exactly what the offense is throwing at you. React like that. So with the route commit leading the charge, we knew that man coverage needed to feel tighter, more authentic, and more rewarding for players who pride themselves on shutting down the perimeter. Now, man coverage is personally something I like to run a lot myself because typically man coverage cornerbacks were always the fastest and the twitchiest, so that's what I used to like to recruit on my teams. This year, the man-to-man game is much more varied. Elite corners like Leonard Moore will mirror receivers closely, breaking with quicker timing that feels earned, not script. Facing top-tier receivers like Jeremiah Smith or Ryan Williams, you'll feel the pressure, but the battle will be fair, so winning means that your leverage, your timing, your position were all perfect, and losing means that the receiver earned every inch of that separation. So it seems like they're taking one-on-ones more seriously, and it's actually down to, it'll hopefully be down to timing and not just attributes strictly or ability strictly. This improvement in man coverage means that you can confidently call man, shade inside, use route commit, and feel that you're playing real football, not just rolling dice. So shading coverage matters more than ever. Pairing directly with route commit and leverage to create a complete defensive toolkit. So with shading over the top, that'll give you the cushion to protect the deep route, but you'll also see sharper cuts separate underneath. Shading underneath will clamp down on the short routes, but it'll put you at risk of getting burnt on the deep routes and by double moves, as it should. Now, this is one of my favorite things that they've done to defense, and I'm pretty sure all you agree. So no eyes, no picks. Last year, some of the full speed contested over the shoulder interceptions felt a little too much. Yes, it did. Like defenders were turning into center fielders. Defensive backs and linebackers with higher pass coverage awareness will have a better chance of turning their heads around to get those picks. So, in last year's game, you would notice that you would have to make sure that your receiver beat the DB, or sometimes even a linebacker, at least a good 3 yards. And your quarterback had to have the deep ball accuracy to get that ball on the money. And the DB wouldn't even turn his head around. All he had to do was just jump and he'll catch the ball as if he was running around. So some of the new formations they added in the game, 3-4 tight, 3-3-5 flex, nickel single mug, nickel 2-4 single mug, nickel load, and nickel 2-4 load. So they've added new formations. Nickel is a very popular formation, especially when you're going against teams that pass the ball a lot. Enhanced run fit logic. So one of the most fundamental parts of any great college football defense is the run fit. Footballers run one in the trenches, whether that's recruiting or on the field, it is one in the trenches. So in College Football 26, they've overhauled how defenders align, trigger, and execute in the run game. So this year, run fits are more consistent and clearly defined. The assignments are cleaner, and the logic behind who fits will now hold up from the first quarter from the fourth. So it'll stay consistent. Linebackers and safeties will now fit more aggressively downhill, triggering early and attacking their assigned gap with the kind of physicality that you would expect in real college football. RPO integrity. So the RPO defense was also worked on. So RPOs are a huge part of the modern football game. So now the A and B gap defenders, usually interior linemen and linebackers, are now coached to play the run first. C, D, and E defenders, which are corners, overhangs, and safeties aligned outside, will read their key. If the receiver they're responsible for goes out on the route, they'll play pass. If he blocks, they'll trigger into their run fit. Moving on to the trenches. So new to College Football 26, Block steering is a foundational trench feature that gives both user and the AI the ability to physically influence the direction of the block once an engagement has started. So how does it work? Once engaged, press RT, LS right trigger plus left stick to begin steering. You can steer and interact in any direction based on player strength, weight, ratings like block shredding, run block, and impact block, and most importantly, momentum. This works for both sides of the ball, and there are 700 new animations in this system alone. Gap integrity reborn. This also unlocks smarter play from AI linemen. So defensive players will now maintain their assigned gaps based on play call and alignment, significantly limiting crashing and stunning blindly. Smarter blocking mechanics. So this year, block logic has been re-engineered from the ground up, and that includes both run and pass protection. Improved targeting system. So we've improved our targeting system across all core blocking schemes. So that means blockers now will understand who they're supposed to hit and how they're supposed to hit them. So based on the structure of the play, schemes that now block with drastically improved clarity and accuracy include power, counter, trap, wham, duo, all veer variants, and midline concepts. Simplified slide protection. So slide mechanics are now easier and more intuitive. Simplified slide protection. Slide mechanics are now easier and more intuitive. If you want to slide to the left, you'll just tap slide left and right stick left. Want a full slide, you'll double flick the right stick. The system responds cleanly and consistently, giving you time to focus on reads and not guesswork. So you'll be able to, instead of going through the menu and pressing L1 and doing all that extra stuff, man, you just be able to use the right thumbstick to slide your offensive lineman exactly where you want to go. So I'm glad that's something, especially with the distorted clock and how they've made home field advantage, which we're going to talk about right now. That's going to make it a little easier to adjust your offensive line. So bonus features. So starting off with home field advantage. Home field advantage is louder, tougher, and more personal in college football 26. So the key improvements include a more impactful stadium post meter, increased difficulty for away quarterbacks and kickers, miscommunication on hot routes, especially for receivers farther from the quarterback. I'm hoping that they did fix the way your running back standing right next to you will still hear whatever the read or the change is on offense, because that's typically your running backs are right next to you. And the same thing for your tight ends. You can walk up to them because typically they're on the line and you can tell them whatever their audible or their adjustments are. So if you're on the road or in a rivalry game, which night games and rivalry games are more intense now, but you can silence that by a big gain. So 20+ yard gains can actually silence the crowd, and that'll give you the ability to, get yourself back adjusted again without the crowd being too much of a factor. But if you start going backwards, that crowd gonna start getting louder, so keep that in mind. Visual celebrations and final touches. So something that I like right here with celebrations, they added more celebrations to the game. But one of the things that I like from college football 26 that was in NCAA 14 is that now an Hispanic celebration system allowing you to walk or jog to do different kind of animations for score antics whenever you get a touchdown or what have you. So now you can move to a location and celebrate rather than, celebrating exactly where you score it. So that's going to be funny. I can't wait to see the clips on that. People going to go crazy. And I hope with that being said, that you'll be able to walk up to the mascot and do mascot celebrations too. And like I said in the video before, man, I hope you can do some disrespectful stuff, man. I hope you can do rivalry celebrations and break them over your knee and get a penalty on the field goal, but just to rile up the crowd. I think that'll be a good addition to the game. They used to have that in previous games, man. And something to note, in Dynasty mode, you will not be able to upgrade your recruits' attributes. It sounds like that's something that they have removed. But I know for a fact that we will get that information confirmed in the Dynasty Deep Dive video that will be dropping Tuesday. So if you guys aren't subscribed already, man, make sure you subscribe, drop a like on this video, and hit that bell, man, because the Dynasty Deep Dive video will be dropping Tuesday. But with that being said, thank you for watching the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Yeah. Sit back, slide in. Shawty wanna come and ride in the whip. Ain't fugazi, I'm stripping legit. Fast films, get me right with the pace. Okay, H on driving up other ways. City lights out of up in the gates. Pushing 90, but she still feeling safe for me. Black shades when I stalk through the lanes. Okay.